Of Bolt driver Isaac Sattler has again raised questions about the safety of e-hailing drivers in South Africa. His killing, which was captured on camera, left many angry. Social media users took it upon themselves to identify the suspects, and in the process, a 22-year-old Johannesburg woman, Selanche Williams, was falsely accused of being one of the killers. Her photos were shared, her name trended, and she was called a murderer. Some threatened to fine her before the police did. What happens when outrage turns into online vigilantism? We're joined by Selanche Williams, who lived through this ordeal, and social media lawyer Lerato Ntwampe, who joins us via our video link. Selanche, good to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
Lerato, thanks so much for being patient. We're obviously going to start the conversation with Selanche. So let's talk about the moment that you realized that you were being trolled, that people were talking about you, that people were accusing you of being a murderer.
The moment I found out about it, I was livid, of course. I was about to I just woke up. It was a normal day. I was going to watch TV, scroll on TikTok, and I came across that. I was not aware about the murder of the Uber driver, the robbery, so I all learned about it at that time.
Now, during that time, you've obviously received a lot of messages, some messages of support, but largely the messaging that you've been receiving is where people are attacking you. What was the most frightening message that you got?
I think the most frightening message was people telling me that they'll find me before the police finds me and that they'll kill me. I think those type of messages are most frightening.
Now, you're obviously innocent. We know that the suspects have now been found by the police, have been identified, or the alleged suspects have been identified. Did you go to the police? Did you seek some form of support outside of people in your own family?
Yes, I went to the police station because I took advice from people on social media telling me, go to the police station, clear your name. So I went to the police station to seek guidance as to what I could do about this whole thing, and unfortunately they couldn't help me. They said that they cannot deal with things that's not happening in their jurisdiction, and that social media things has nothing to do with them.
Now, all that's been happening has kept you behind closed doors. You're not leaving the house.
No.
How do you expect to get your life back?
I'm just building the courage to get out there, you know, because people will be looking at me with those eyes. Oh, there's that girl, the murderer. Some people do not watch the news or follow up on stuff, so people are still looking at me like that.
Lerato, we're going to bring you into the conversation now. You're obviously familiar with the social media space and some of the challenges, but no greater challenge than what we're experiencing right now, and as far as Selanche is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. It's heartbreaking just hearing her story and that she couldn't even get assistance from the police station. I would advise her to, consult with a lawyer, even if it's pro bono, just to, get a letter of demand out, just to have the images removed, because she's completely correct when she says that some people don't follow up on the news. And if you use, AI tools, her name is still going to be associated with the murder. So it's important that she gets, those posts down, especially, because her life is now in danger. And the police should have actually assisted her at least with trying to get a protection order, especially if she knows some of the people who might have been attacking her, and if she would have actually, gotten some assistance in them, obviously also advising her to consult with a lawyer, because this could be a civil case for defamation of character. And she could, through a civil suit, get those images down, get a public apology from the people who posted and mistaken her identity, and potentially, if she actually does pursue it through the civil route, she could also, get some damages. So I hope she took as many screenshots as possible, especially of the perpetrators who have been involved in this.
Well, there's a good question there coming from Lerato. You've obviously had a lot of people that have been making various accusations, peddling this misinformation. Have you reached out to any of these individuals? Because I know some of them have tremendously huge followings.
I have. I've reached out to what I came across, and these people are arrogant. They, instead of, understanding the situation, removing the post, it's either you get ignored or they're just arrogant in general, telling you, no, they'll remove it on their time, turning it into a chat. So I confronted somebody and they posted what I was telling them on their story. And people were commenting, telling me I'm a toothless dog, I'm not gonna remove this. So it's very traumatic that it's not ending.
We talk about mental health. Just walk us through how you're feeling at the moment. Are you able to sleep? What are the thoughts that are preoccupying you? Lerato just raised an issue there, which unfortunately is a sad truth that the internet doesn't forget, because 5 years from now, if somebody Googles Selanche Williams, that information, which is absolutely untrue, will hit them straight in the face.
It does. When you just put my name into the search bar of any social media app, it immediately pops up the murderer, the arrested, everything that's been spread, it just comes up, and it's overwhelming. It's because I thought after the suspects were arrested that, things would quiet down, but it hasn't.
Lerato, how do you recommend that Selanche moves forward? So obviously she doesn't have a legal mind. Engaging a lawyer isn't something that she's done, but it's something that you've brought up. So there are all these individuals that are peddling misinformation. What can the law do for her?
So, like I mentioned, she could consider, approaching pro bono just to get a letter of demand to have the images removed. And then if that doesn't, succeed, and they're not scared of a letter of demand or cease and desist letter, because that can be sent through the social media channels. As she's mentioned, she has been in contact with them, and they're obviously arrogant and they refuse to actually remove the posts. So by actually going through a defamation suit, even on an urgent basis, but it might lack a bit of urgency now. But if her life continues to be in danger, that's imminent. And that could, help with an urgent application. And what she could do then is that, report to the social media platforms as well of those posts so that they actually are removed. Once she has a court order, she can actually then approach internet service providers, ISPA, the association, and she can give them the order to actually tell them that, listen, I'm not the person, who has been accused. And because it's obviously also, well documented, and it's on the news, she could try and get the case number of the case to actually say, this is not me. Can you please, help me remove some of that content that is on searches like Google, or on any search engines. And unfortunately, because of screenshots, she could have trouble in trying to get that as much as possible. But as far as approaching Google as well, or certain search engines, it could help so that if somebody Googles her name, murderer won't come up. Or pictures of these things won't come up if they are actually hosted on certain internet service providers, and actually also those platforms like Google. They can assist her in this regard.
Lerato, you're a friend of Newzroom. We've had many conversations. Don't want to put you on the spot, but is this pro bono work the sort of stuff that you'd be able to assist Selanche with? Just to get her going and allow her certainly to get some form of closure?
I can certainly have a conversation with her offline, and I can just guide her because I'm not sure which jurisdiction she's at. But I can certainly have a conversation, consult with her, and see what we can actually do from our side in just trying to assist her, especially with removing, I think that's quite important, removing that content from the social media platforms as well as the search engines, because the reality is now they are still going to trend because, you know, they've attracted engagement. So I am happy to, you know, just consult with her and see how we can help her.
Fantastic. Solange, so that's the first part of your problem solved. Lerato Ntwampe says she will assist. Now, we've talked about many of those people that have made these false accusations, and many of them refused absolutely blatantly to take them down. What do you want to say to all those people that are peddling this misinformation, especially those that refuse to take it down?
I don't really have anything to say to them, but they should just know that it's wrong to spread misinformation. I feel like if you have a big channel, a big following, you need to follow up on things before you post. Because people don't watch the news all the time, so they prey on these type of things, you know. They're looking at these people to give them this information. So I just want the people to know that they should do their necessary research going forward. I know for some people it's an honest mistake. We come across things and we search it and we just share, you know, because we want that type of engagement. So I just hope that they understand how it can ruin one's life. It's a lot.
What has this taught you about the power of social media?
That social media can either bring justice to certain things or ruin a lot of things. Social media is a platform that I just expected, you know, a place where we can all socialize and engage on. I didn't expect, you know, news like trending news about things that's not true to be spreading around. I just thought that everything would be authentic on social media.
Yeah. Lerato, as we wrap and very quickly, what would be the sort of threshold in terms of a lawsuit if she did put one across in order to, you know, hold some of those people liable?
I mean, you know, like I mentioned, defamation would be the one, and then chain of publication. So if we can't find, for example, the perpetrator, the person who actually started this, everyone else who commented, who reposted, could also then be held liable for that content as secondary publishers. So it is important for people who actually are watching and people who have commented on the story, have shared the story without the knowledge that this is actually not the real suspect. I would urge you now to actually delete that content, or even offer her an apology, to update your followers that actually I was mistaken, this isn't the right person. I'm now going to delete the post, or delete the posts, remove those posts, because it will go a long way in ensuring that, you know, you're not part of a legal lawsuit, and also that you're not, you know, part of the chain of publication, which could also, you know, potentially hold you liable for, you know, messing or hurting her reputation and her dignity, human dignity, and now her safety.
Lerato Ntwampe, social media lawyer and head of advocacy at SFS Studio. Thanks so much for your time. Selanche Williams, you've been a victim of mistaken identity by social media. Appreciate you coming on to the show and clarifying this issue for us, and certainly hope you're able to put it to bed very soon.
Thank you for having me. I think I appreciate the opportunity to speak about it, especially on this channel, because on social media, it's not everybody's trying to clear it. So people who watch the news, for people with these followings, I hope they're able to understand where I'm coming from and just remove the post.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. And that's where we leave it. Nompumelelo, what's up next?